bitch grow up.
Be quiet, can you be quiet and let our citizens hear what needs to be said, please? Thank you.
Leave him alone! What the Shame on you!
Nothing wrong. Don't put your hands on.
Why can't he talk?
Why don't you talk?
Why can't he?
Why don't you?
I'm here.
Lately, we've had some discourse over something, a project that we were considering for the township that may have brought in quite a bit of revenue, but we also agree that no project, no money is worth tearing a town at its seams.
This is not real information. And we sit here like it's okay. It's a charade. It's a charade. It's false.
Austin Newsom has an unexpected new hobby.
What's the highest you've gotten?
Probably about 120.
Using a decibel reader to record the noise level of the trucks that now constantly move in and out of the data center construction site across from his Louisa County home.
Trying to get as much data as I can to show, the county what they say is everything is acceptable versus what it really is.
Since construction began across the street roughly 1 year ago, Newsom says his family's life has been turned upside down.
So this is just constant?
Yeah, all day, every day. And you can just see the haze of the dust floating through the air, and it never stops. And the noise that comes out of this place 24 hours. At nighttime is just a loud pitch humming, buzzing noise all the time.
Newsom shared this video with us that he said he captured April 24th at 3 a.m. He said it depicts disruptive overnight work at the Amazon Web Services data center on Jefferson Highway. Newsom said he bought this house 12 years ago because he wanted to live out in the country. And now he says nobody wants to buy it because of the data center across the street.
Every person that comes and looks at it like, oh, we didn't know it was across the street from a data center.
A few weeks ago, he actually filed a complaint with the county after large amounts of dust were spewing out of the construction site.
It was got to the point where you could barely see to cross the road.
Louisa County told me they did receive a dust complaint. When they came out here to investigate, they found the dust was associated with a utility project. I asked them if that utility project was directly related to the construction of the data center. They did not directly answer that question, but they did tell me it fell within the limits of disturbance for the construction campus. They then referred me to Dominion for more answers.
A spokesperson for Dominion told me they were doing work on a line feeding the Amazon Web Services campus, but that work was done within 2 days. The county says the construction company handling the project implemented dust mitigation techniques and is continuing to monitor conditions to ensure appropriate measures remain in place. Just after we left, Newsom sent us a photo of a truck spraying water on the road. But for Newsom, those mitigation measures are not enough. Now, he is advising others to get informed.
For people that, live in communities that they don't have data centers yet or that they're being debated, what is your message to them?
Fight it. Fight it very hard. Do everything you can. Go to the meetings. Pay attention.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. It's coming back with another lesson. And what you saw in the beginning, was a group of videos, collage, if you will, of these Edomites being upset about these data centers being placed near their properties, But it just goes to show you that, this man don't care about you. Like you thought he did, those days are over, man. The plan is moving forward. And you just in the way. But more so, these curses are coming upon you, man. First of all, you don't even supposed to be on that land. You don't even supposed to be on the land. The land is stolen. You took this land from the tribe of Gad, Reuben. They are the rightful owners of this land. The Native American Indians, Seminoles, they are the rightful owners, man. So the Lord is just reversing these curses on you. And eventually, you're going to be pushed off the land. Your crops or anything that's near these data centers are going to be so defiled and poisoned that you're not even going to be able to have food, man. You're not even going to be able to make money. So, the Lord is just putting these curses upon you, Edomites, man, and we don't feel sorry at all. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, where the Lord said he would reverse these curses. We'll go to chapter 30. Restoration promised. Restoration promised. So we just drop down to verse 7. And it says, and the Lord, Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies. And who is the number? I mean, you other nations are not exempt either, but the number one enemy of the children of Israel are the Edomites. It says, and on them that hate thee and persecute thee. So that covers everybody. You Edomites and all you other nations that hate us outside, outside of the Edomites. Verse 8, it says, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of thy power and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. So eventually, once the Lord comes back, we'll be in order, man. Starting with 144,000 elect men, that the Lord has chosen, to govern the kingdom, under the rulership of our Lord Yahweh Shai, King David, and those mighty men, man. So verse 9, it says, and the Lord Yahweh thy power will make thee plenteous in every work of thy hand, in the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, for good. So everything that you've been plenteous in, living good, all these things are going to be taken away. You can go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, Salakia, I should have said that earlier. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 on down. These are the curses that's been placed upon us. And these curses are going to be placed upon you as well. So it says, for the Lord Yahweh will again rejoice over thee for good, and he rejoiced over as he rejoiced over thy father. So, everything gonna be returned back to us, man. You know, we're in the lowest state, at the bottom of the barrel right now, going against the Lord as we see. You know, you got people coming up against the Lord every day, not believing, coming up against the men teaching and preaching every day, you know, of the nation of Israel, you know. So eventually they're going to be brought back, but they're going to have to be destroyed on this side, man, you know, by way of nuclear missiles. But you Edomites, man, we don't feel sorry for you, man. You know, we're sitting back, you know, we understand, you know, what these data centers are going to bring. But it's just up to us to bring forth the message. But do we feel sorry for you Edomites? Of course not. You know, we rejoice in your pain. So let's go to the book of Isaiah. Chapter 61. But we're going to get this in the NLT. Good news for the oppressed. Let's see, we'll start at the top right here. It says, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord Yahweh has appointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and proclaim that captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. So these curses are going to be lifted, man. You know, and this is the good news, man. It says, he has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of the Most High's anger against their enemies. Matter of fact, let's get this in the KJV, man. Matter of fact. All right, we'll start back from the top. It says, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is upon me, because the Lord Yahweh hath appointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, and to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beautiful ashes, and oil for joy, for mourning, a garment for praise, for the spirit of heaviness, that they may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord Yahweh, that he may be glorified. So let's go back to the NLT. Verse 2 is in the NLT, you know, it is, you know, kind of what each verse is, you know, each version is what we're going into, but this right here, you know, makes it a little plain, you know, when it comes to our enemies. It says, he has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of the Most High's anger against their enemies. Yep. So let's drop down to verse 7. It says, instead of shame and dishonor, you will enjoy a double share of honor. You will possess a double portion of prosperity in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. For I, the Lord Yahweh, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing. And who has done more robbery and wrongdoing than Esau Edom throughout the earth? No one is the answer to that. And the Lord says he hate that, you know. And he also hates you Edomites. Book of Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. So it says, For I, the Lord Yahweh, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing. I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering and make an everlasting covenant with them. Let's see. Their descendants will be recognized and honored among the nations. So all nations are going to see it. Everyone will realize that they are a people the Lord has blessed. So once these curses begin to really overcome you other nations, starting with Esau, Edom, you're going to realize, man, you messed up. And the Lord is against you. So let's go back to the KJV. And let's drop down to verse 19. Let's see. Let's see. Because, man, we just patiently wait, Let's see. We'll just get to the point right here. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3 and verse 19. It says, Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. So these curses are coming off us, man. They're coming off of us and being placed upon you other nations, starting with Edomites. Let's see. Verse 20 says, At that time I will bring you again, even in the time that I will gather you, for I will make you a name and praise among all people of the earth. Then I will turn back your captivity before your eyes, said the Lord Yahweh. So as we're coming out of captivity, you're going into captivity. So everything that you've owned, all that land that you say you got, those acres, oh man, I got such and such acres, are being taken away, and data centers are being placed upon those acres. So, it's a beautiful thing, man. All you Edomites that say, oh man, I'm moving away from those niggers, I'm going to the country, which, hey, sometimes we feel the same way. But your comfort is gone, man. But, that was just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And with that being said, we want to constantly give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash. Shalom.